Guys, happy Independence Day. I know it's not quite the 4th of July yet, but this is a really good chance to have a Independence Day giveaway. And for that, I'm going to re-review an item that we looked at about a year ago, the Multipick Kronos. Multipick actually updated the kit. You guys were asking for a kit that includes everything you need to do electropick, not just the gun. And this is what they've come out with. This is the Kronos electropick kit. Sells for $390, and we're going to be giving this thing away here in just a few minutes. All right, what do we get inside of the kit? Well, we get the electropick gun itself, and you guys have seen this before in the original review. It doesn't have the needle on it, obviously, but it is probably the most powerful battery-powered electropick gun that you can get. We're going to test that theory here in just a few minutes on some test locks and see if we can prove that to ourselves. You also get a charger. This is a USB charger, wall charger. This one's set up for the European plug. There's an adapter in here for the US plugs, and I'll show that in just a moment. This will recharge your battery in about 2.5 hours. You get a flip it. A lot of times you can pick a lock easier in one direction than the other. Unfortunately, that may not be the way you need to turn it to get an unlock, but you can electropick it in the easiest direction. Take this guy to flip it. You guys have seen me use that. Here's mine. I use it all the time. It's nothing but a spinner, but very nice spinner, easy to control. Everything's laser marked. You slide it in the keyway once you open it and then push on the button and it spins the lock past the shear line so fast the pins don't have time to drop back down. So it doesn't matter which way you electropick it open. Using the flip it, you can for sure open the lock. You also get a circular tensioner. You guys have seen me use these before as well. I reviewed this also about a year ago. These are really nice when using electropick because maintaining tension on the lock is sometimes a little bit difficult while you're trying to guide the needle and get everything just right. By placing this inside of the lock, you have two adjustable tongs here, and they slide. You see a little push the button, slides it in and out. It mounts on both sides of the keyway for positive control, and then when it's in there, it's very easy to maintain precise tension on the lock using this outer spring-loaded ring. Because it's deep like this, there's a deeper needle that fits onto the electropick to reach past that. Since we're not really worried about feedback and feel when we're using this thing, we're just worried about keeping good tension. It doesn't really affect picking that much. It's just a good way to maintain precise tension. Not all locks are exactly the same, so inside of here are some shallower pins, some deeper pins. So if you want to replace any of these prongs, there's a whole different set of prongs inside of here to fit pretty much any lock you can imagine. It's so German. I mean, we have an outer box with cutouts, we have an inner box, and then we have an inner box here. How more organized could we be? Open it up, and we have two lithium-ion batteries. It does not come with a battery shipped in it. So one of these is going to go inside of the unit, and then the other will be an extra. Lithium-ion is kind of cool. These are 2,900 milliamp hours, and I found that one of these batteries fully charged will last about an hour-long session of stop-and-go electropicking, or about 30 minutes of constant electropicking. There's a lot of energy inside of one of these. The other plus for lithium-ion is that these don't really lose their charge. When you charge it, you can put it in a box, and a year later you pull it out and it's still got almost 100% of its charge. It's not like a carbon battery which drains and after just a few months it's dead. These really do hold the charge. So you have one to go in the electropick, and then you leave the other fully charged one inside of your kit. There's never any excuse to run out of power. Even if you do, you can recharge it. Here is the adapter for the European plug to fit into the USB. And inside of here is the charger itself. I can get it out of here. There we go. There's your USB cable, and then your spring-loaded charger here to plug into USB. You can get about a 60% charge on your battery in about 20 minutes. The rest of it takes a little bit longer as it tops it off. But even if you allow both batteries to go dead, within 20 minutes you're at least back up in business if you accidentally let both of them go dead. You get a screwdriver in case you need to work on anything. It is a Wera, so they didn't cheap out and give you a crappy screwdriver. This is a quality tool. And I dig a little deeper inside of here, and I find a couple of tension wrenches. Of course, we're going to need those. We have a single ender narrow, and then we have a double ender. One side is wide, and one side is medium. So pretty much every size you can imagine. A little plastic bag in the bottom. I can't imagine losing this. This is the clamp to hold the needle inside of the tip of your Kronos. I can't imagine how you could possibly lose one of those. I mean, the needle would fly out and everything long before that clamp and screw got lost. But just in case it happens, you got to back up, and then you also have the Allen wrench to replace your needles with. Speaking of needles, they give you a total of 10 different needles. There are, I believe it's 2 really long ones, and all the other 8 are the normal size needles that you're going to see me using here in these examples. All right, how do these work? All right, I'm going to go ahead and overlay a slow motion of an Electropick working on a clear lock. I think you can see that it's a lot like bump keying, except with bump keys we can only attack that lock 5 to 10 times per minute maximum, because we've got to pull it out and then strike it with a hammer, pull it out, and repeat until we get an open. With an Electropick, we apply light tension and we trigger the Electropick. It vibrates thousands of times a minute, thereby greatly, statistically at least, increasing our chances of getting an open. It's a great tool to get into locks very, very quickly. After I did the review last time, a lot of you guys were asking me, well, does it work on security pins? And you know what? Today we're going to find out. This is a lock that I've pinned up for this test. Now it's a 6-pin lock, and I'm going to take my pick and push everything up, and hopefully you'll be able to see what we're going to be working with. Pin number 1 is a standard pin, and that's followed by see what I got here. That one is a spool. Number 3 is a standard. Number 4 is a serrated. 5 is a standard, and 6 is a mushroom pin. So a 6-pin lock with a really good mix of security pins. I'm curious as well as you as to whether or not the Kronos will be able to beat this thing. What I'm going to do is take this and I'm going to put it in the vise. I'm going to put the camera very, very close, and hopefully I can get it to some slow motion to work, and you can see exactly what that Electropick needle is doing to rebound all of those just like a bump key, and then I'll do it in real time and you'll be able to see whether or not we get an open. Hopefully this will work. Let's find out. All right, I'll take my pick and put him in upside down and raise those pins so you can see that we're still dealing with a spool, a serrated, and a mushroom pin, and then the other 3 are standard pins in this 6-pin lock. So again, a pretty good mix of security pins. I'm going to take my tensioner and just slide him right in the bottom here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach around the back and use my finger here to tension it, get it lined up, and then I'll take the Electropick, slide him in, try to keep him pretty even. Let me see, maybe I'll use my thumb. Try to keep him fairly level with all the pins. Apply very light tension because they are security pins, and just mash the button to see what happens. And that's how quick we can get an open with a Kronos. My goodness, I didn't think it would be that fast. All right, I have further tests. In fact, I want to try that again. Same deal. Light tension with my thumb. Slide the needle in level. Very light tension. And we have another open. Maybe it is that quick. Goodness. All right, let's come up with something else. My motto is test until failure. One of the questions that came up after I'd sent the winner the original Kronos is, does it work on a wide variation in bitting? This is about as wide as you're going to find. You got a really low cut surrounded by very high cuts. So what will happen is the needle will set those low cut ones first. The timing is going to be way off on this one. So your chances of getting an open with an Electropick when you have wide variation in bitting is really not very good. I'll use this clear lock and I'll try to hold it in such a way that you guys can see. Let's see if I can find a tensioner, slide him in there. Hold him down here, let me zoom in and hopefully you can see those pins bounce. Hopefully, we'll try it like this, I guess. All right, I'm going to take the Electropick, slide him into keyway. Once I get him in there, I'm going to apply light tension to overcome that spring tension on the core, and then get him lined up. Keep him as level as you can. You want to strike all those pins at the same time, and let's see if we can get him to work. And there you go, open. All right, in our quest to continue testing until failure, let me see what else we can come up with. All right, guys, I have the ultimate torture test. Here's what I've done. I got taken a brand new revolver. This is a 6-pin lock, but I've only populated the first 5 chambers. And that's because my key is a 5-pin key, the one that comes with it. It does work perfectly. And let's see if I can get that oriented so I can get it out. And I'll show you what I've done. On the top, at the 12 o'clock position, are 5 standard pins. Over here at the 3 o'clock, I have, see if I can read this, we have 5 spool pins. On the bottom here, we have 5 mushroom pins, and then on the far right, or far left, at the 9 o'clock position, probably the hardest one is going to be all serrated pins. So let's see what we can do with this. I'm going to go ahead and clamp it up, and we'll give this thing a torture test. All right, let's give this thing an endurance test. Everything's pinned up. It's the same key all the way around, and it does, you can see it is locked. Okay, I'm going to try the first one. This is the tension wrench they give us, and it's the medium. It doesn't bind the core, and it's the only one that doesn't. So I'm going to go with it. I'm going to reach around, I guess, like this. Not ideal, but I got to reach around the camera. All right, standard pins first. I'm going to slide the needle in, keep him as level as I can, light tension, and see what he does. All right, standard pins. We knew it was going to be standard pins. Now we start to get a little complicated. Now I'm going to rotate him up like this. We're going to start with spool pins. Again, keep very light tension, and let's see if we can overcome this. We're probably going to get a series of false sets, so we'll just recock and keep trying. All right, very light tension. False set, recock it. Very, very light tension, keep it level. And there we go. Now things are really going to get complicated. Okay, mushrooms, nothing but fancy spools. Light tension. Reset. And there we go. All right, now comes a really hard one. Serrateds, we're not going to get a false set. We're not going to get anything. We're either going to get an open or it's going to bind. So I'm probably going to have to do a series of resets here. But that's okay. That's what serrated pins are supposed to do. All right, very light tension. I'm going to reset. Again, light tension, keep it level. Whoops. Tension wrench fell out. Very light tension again. And there we go. We beat the serrated. I don't know what else to throw at this thing. Huh. All right, guys, I really would like to test this to failure, but I'm out of questions. I mean, we answered questions about will it work on a wide variation of bitting, and we saw that. And we knew it worked on standard pins, but there were a lot of questions about spools, mushrooms, and serrated pins. It did a pretty fair job of getting through those. In addition, a lock containing a mix of security pins of all of those 3 different types seemed to work pretty good on that 6-pin lock as well. To continue answering questions, no, this will not work on alloy locks. Sorry, those are discs that have to be rotated. It also probably won't work very good on car locks or Medicos. For those 2, you're probably going to need one of these. Anyway, guys, if you got any more questions about what this will open, please get them to me in the next couple of days, because next Saturday I'm giving this kit away, and I will be again Kronos-less. Anyway, appreciate your time. Oh, want to win it? Yeah, there's a website. Go there, big purple button. Center of the page, click it, register, and with a little luck, you'll be the proud owner of a brand new Kronos kit. Appreciate your time, guys. Stay safe, stay legal. Hold on, before you leave, click that subscribe button. And while you're there, click that notification bell as well. If you'd like to be a sponsor, click there, and for $5 a month, you get all kinds of benefits. If that's not enough free stuff, hit the Lock Lab. We've got a self-paced lockpicking course with over a dozen modules at the bottom of the page. Join the tribe. Subscribe.